So hi, I'm Sarah from The Upcoming. A real pleasure to have you here with us today. Huge congrats on the movie. I love how it's just kind of a real mix-up of genres. It's kind of a rom-com vibe, but then there's also coming of age, there's action, there's thriller. When you read the script, what jumped out to you? Were you already familiar with the book or the Spanish adaptation?
Yeah, for sure I'd heard of the Spanish films in particular. But yeah, I think when I read the script firstly, I just thought what a fun character to play, like all the fighting and the car racing. Yeah, I was just really excited to get stuck in, to be fair. That was my first thought.
My thought was, I'm quite good mates with Jason Statham, and he did obviously the Fast and the Furious stuff. And as soon as I read it, I was like, nice. And I phoned it, because I'm always doing like Dickens and stuff, and going, well, I don't think that's very real. And suddenly we're in this world of, filming in London, fast cars, and I got to tell Jason, I went, we're making a better film than Fast and Furious. He's like, what are you talking about? What do you mean? And he's really, really angry that we've made it in London and he hasn't been able to drive a car that fast.
Can't wait for him to watch it.
Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
And coming to each of your characters, Ronnie, bit of a bad boy. How did you get under the skin of him? What did you like about playing him?
I love lots about playing him. Yeah, it's always, people always say it's fun to play bad people, isn't it, really? It's quite, fun to embody someone totally different like that. But he was quite exhausting as well, like a lot of physical prep, a lot of literally physical gym work, fight training, but also kind of that mentality of he's so angry all the time and he's got so much going on inside him. He's kind of fizzing, ready to pop. So to embody that for a long day could be quite exhausting. And was quite important to make sure I got rid of that when I was going home. Do you know what I mean? Because you don't want to take that energy home with you. But yeah, I was chuffed to do it. Yeah.
We'd be giggling and stuff, and they'd be like, "Oh, I can't, I've got to get myself together," and he'd have to go off and do his
putting
thing.
faces at me. I'm like, mate, come on, Jason.
But he did it great, and I think just that the physicality of that, and the weight and the bulk of it is quite difficult to work with all day.
Yeah,
I mean, for him.
I tried to. I looked a little bit at like animal studies a little bit, like about a bear in particular, kind of like the weight of. Because I used to box a bit growing up, so I was kind of like, how would I throw punches? How would he throw punches? What's the difference in that? And I wanted him to have the feeling that like he would maul someone literally, as opposed to like a technical. Because Matt's character Nick is a very like technical fighter, whereas I wanted Ronnie to be more of like a brawler. If that makes sense. So yeah, I had a bit of a look at that.
And you've played bad boys before, but obviously we've got like the father-daughter element coming into this. So, was this kind of a different slant on things you've done before?
Yeah, it's hard to think of, especially because I've got twin boys who are amazing. So that idea of betraying the person you love most in your life, like your kids, I find really difficult. I couldn't believe, it was very hard. It's an acting gig, you have to imagine it, but I couldn't imagine ever doing that to your own child.
Yeah.
Addict or not.
Asher and Matthew, what an incredible chemistry they have all the way through the film. And I love this kind of push-pull that they constantly have, this kind of love-hate thing going on. What was it like working with both of them, seeing their performance with each other, but also the relationship your characters have with them as well?
Yeah, great. I mean, they're fantastic. They are absolutely those parts. They do it so brilliantly. And I think, but we were just saying earlier that we're all so close. So it's funny because there's such tension between our characters. And one of the first things I had to shoot with Asher was when I kind of abducted her in the elevator and we see you for the first time properly. And she was just brilliant. And we had this really horrible, energy between us. But then once we cut, we're kind of laughing, giggling, and like, it was really quite impressive.
I think their relationship is the key to the whole film. And without it, with no matter how fast the cars go and no matter how slick the filming is, without that connection between those two, the film's dead. And I think they smashed that. And so therefore, when we saw that very early, that was the electricity between them.
Yeah, even the read-through, it was like...
Yeah, we all went...
Yeah, okay, this is going to be good. Yeah, absolutely.
And filming in London, I love seeing London on screen. It feels like sometimes you don't see it often enough. And it's obviously a heightened version, but, and like you say, like racing the cars through the centre of it and everything. What was it like being on set? And was it really great to be celebrating the city on screen in this way?
Absolutely. Like you said earlier, London's a character in itself in this film, and London has so much character. So it's so... when you from in and around London as well, it's so lovely to be able to be... Because like you're saying, often you film things that's supposed to be London, but you're over in like Staines or somewhere else. Yeah, absolutely.
The logistics and the cost of filming in London is massive.
Yeah,
that's why people
roads off.
That's why people don't do it. And so when you get to do it, two things: one, it looks amazing, but two, there's the chance that actors will walk past you and go, bloody Flemyng's working again, which is a great thing. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you're in Soho, you're like, please let someone, like Jude Law walk past, please let Jude Law walk past. But, you know, so there's always
Please let Statham walk past.
Yeah, please let Statham walk past and see me in a Ferrari, please. You know, so that's great. It's a great experience to work in. And also, it's just like, we all live in London.
Yeah, it's
so
an exhausting.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
It's quite nice, yeah.
And in terms of the takeaways, obviously, it's one of these, like, you're on the edge of your seat, you know, it's pure entertainment, but there are also some deeper themes in there about the complications you can have with family, about things like addiction. So what do you think people can take away in that sense?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right in the sense that those themes are definitely there. So I like to think that people will take away, as opposed to just enjoying the film for what it is, which is obviously like a romance thriller and car chases and fighting, all the exciting things. I think that hopefully you can bring away, yes, maybe some thoughts about your own life and about your own relationships and
your own families.
Yeah,
we've all got, you know, none of us have got a Disney family. Let's be honest. So all of these things are, you know, are peppered through our own families. So hopefully people will be able to see something they recognise.
100%. Well, thank you so much for sharing all that with me. I can't wait for everyone else to see My Fault London.